The IRS recently sent out 5 million collection letters. And if you've been watching the news, you also know that they've increased their budget. So they've been hiring on more employees so that they can push enforcement. Now, if you're a person that owes the IRS, you may be worried by this because I've been receiving a lot of questions about what do I do when I receive a letter from the IRS? I want to address that question here in this video, but before I do, let me introduce myself to those of you who may not know me. My name is Timlin Bowens, and I am America's favorite EA. I'm also the owner of Bowens Tax Solutions, which before was known as Bowens Tax and Bookkeeping Solutions. We are a virtual firm based in Louisville, Kentucky that specializes in resolving taxpayers' IRS issues. That's why I felt it was very important for me to not just continue to answer this question for clients and prospects, but also to share the answer with you if you receive a letter from the IRS. Now, 2020, 2021, the IRS has been sending out a lot of letters. There have been letters about the economic impact payment. There have been letters for families that are eligible to receive the advanced payment of the child tax credit. About 36 million families received that letter. But I'm not going to talk about those letters today. I want to focus on those of you that owe the IRS and receive these collection letters. There is nothing worse than going about your business, enjoying summertime. You get off of work, been a long day, you go out to your mailbox, you're flipping through the mail, you got magazines, maybe a postcard from a family member on vacation, and then there it is, that dreaded letter from the IRS. Now, this year you may be like, oh yeah, it's a good letter, we're getting our third stimulus check after waiting so long. But if that's not the case, you open it up and it's the IRS saying that you owe them, it's very likely your heart just sank. It feels like somebody just hit you in the stomach, especially if you can't pay the IRS in full. So if that's you right now and you have that letter in your hand and you just Googled and you found this video, the first thing I want you to do with me, take a deep breath, let it go, because you're going to get through this. The first thing I need you to do, go ahead and open the letter up. Most of the time when you get a letter from the IRS, you have 30 days to respond. So like I said, take that deep breath, let it out, open the letter. If you don't open the letter right away, if there are instructions for you there, you're going to hurt yourself by not responding in a timely manner. So you want to open the letter, see what it's even about. In the top right corner, you'll see either a CP or a LTR code before some numbers, and that tells you what type of notice you're receiving from the IRS. This video, again, is what you should do when you receive a letter about collections, but it may be that they need more information from you, not for you, or that you had an overpayment, they're going to send you a refund. They can send a letter for a variety of different reasons. But if this is a collections letter, first you need to take that deep breath, let it go, open the letter, find out what your balance is, see how much has accrued in penalties and interest if it's a failure to file or failure to pay. The next thing that you want to do is make a payment. And you may be thinking, but I can't pay it in full. Even if you can't pay it in full, whatever amount of money that you have that you can throw at that debt, you want to go ahead and do that. Now, you may be like, oh, I just don't want to deal with it. I don't want to be on their radar. Guess what? If you got a letter from them, you are on their radar. But the IRS is the most aggressive collection agency in the country. If you're able to send them something, that will help you as far as interest goes in the long run, because every month you'll get a new notice that has more interest accruing, and you'll be notified of how much that is. The next thing I want you to do is realize you have options. So if you can't pay in full, you may be hearing on the radio, because they're really aggressive right now, the commercials that say, we'll settle your tax debt for pennies on the dollar. That is a good option if you qualify. But if you feel like maybe you make too much, there are other options as well. So let's say you have a tax debt of $10,000 or less. Did you know if you can't pay in full, there's a way to set up an arrangement with the IRS where you can make payments within 36 months to pay it off and not have to show the IRS all of your information? Yeah, that exists. Did you know that if you owe $50,000 or less, and for the most part, you've been a pretty good taxpayer, there's a way where you can get up to 72 months to pay off that tax debt without showing the IRS all of your information? Yes, that exists. So see what I mean? There are even more and more options. So what I don't want you to do is get that letter, not open it, suffer from analysis paralysis, and then all of this interest begins to accrue, and then the IRS is going to send out an intent to issue a lien on you. They're not playing. They want their money. So you need to take that deep breath, read the letter. Let's respond to it if a response is required. If a payment needs to be made, make that payment. You can go online to make the payment. They will send you a voucher where you can send a check. There are some places that accept cash payments. We can't ignore this. If you need more time to get things together, you can request a hold or you can appeal it if you don't think you actually owe that amount. But whatever you do, you cannot ignore it. Now, you may be to this point in the video and think, none of that really applies to me. It's more than $10,000. I can't pay it off in 72 months. I can't make any payments at all because things are just too tight for me right now financially. Well, guess what? There are options for you too. And what I'd love to invite you to do is to book a call with my team and I so we can do an evaluation of your situation. Now, there's no obligation to this. We go over what your financial situation looks like, what your tax debt is, to see if there's a way that we can help, and then also to see if you're a good fit to work with us. Because if you're not a good fit to work with us, we're not going to be able to get the best solution for you. But in order for us to see that, you have to take this first step and book the call. So below this video, I'll provide a link directly to my booking calendar so you can book that call with my team and I. Or you can just go to www.bowenstaxsolutions, don't forget the S because we have more than one solution for you, .com. So www.bowenstaxsolutions.com. Book that tax relief call so we can see what solutions there are for your tax problem. Remember, taking the deep breath. Now you take the next step and book the call.